We're going to be working on our Kumihimo Disc today, making our cord for our drawstring. Okay, the cord that I made is about 24 inches long. You're going to need, we're going to be working on 8 strand. This is the basic pattern we're going to be using. We want to go with 8 strand. It winds up giving you a cord that is about 3/8 of an inch wide, or 1 centimeter in diameter, I should say. And we're going to keep it at 8 strands so we're not too complicated with our color combinations and keep the pattern kind of simple. And this is pretty much the pattern that I use. You're going to want to pick out whatever you want to be your more prominent color, which in here it was, I used the orchid, or the darker pink was my prominent color on this one. And I have another one over here that I did, and actually my daughter did, and I used the black as my prominent color, but they were both using the same pattern here, where you want to put your prominent color, which you're going to need 4 strands of each of that color, and that will go on your sides. So you need approximately 3 times the length of what you want your finished product to be. So that's ours came out to about 2 feet or 24 inches. I pretty much go with, when I measure fingertip to fingertip, which is about 5 feet. So you're looking at maybe 5 to 6 feet you want to cut each strand. And so here's the next one that I want to do. So I cut, this is a double strand. These are my prominent colors. Here's another double strand. Okay, so I got 4 of my blacks, which are the ones that are going to go on the sides. And then I have 2 in a pink, 1 in a purple, and 1 in gray. And what we're going to do is pull them all together and just tie a knot. And you can go up there pretty close, you know, just leave a little bit hanging down. This will actually be the inside part of your pom-pom, or your tassel, if you make a tassel on the end. And you're going to want this knot because it helps, if you're putting a tassel on, it helps to give you something to tie around, but you'll see that later on. So you have all your strands together, and like I said, we're going to be using this pattern. You can choose other patterns, but like I said, I recommend 8 strands because it'll fit nicely through the holes in the basic beginner bag that we're making. If you're doing something bigger, then you can go into larger patterns with more strands and a little bit more complicated. But that's what we're going to be using for now. So what you do is you can put your knotted end through the center, and then we're going to load our disc. And these, if you have points on it like this, really the numbers don't really mean a whole heck of a lot once you get going. But we're going to be putting, oh, I'm doing it the wrong way. 2 on this, 2 the black, 2 of the black on this side, if you can see, okay. And then we're going to take the other 2 and put them over here. If I can separate them, there we go. And you're just going to slip them in the little slots that are in there. And then our other ones we can just kind of, now if we want our next prominent color to be pink, then we'll put those 2, we'll just put them up top. And you're not really going to see it a whole lot. It's going to be more the black that's going to stand out. Put them up there. And then these last 2, just keep all this stuff down here. But our last two we're going to put down at the bottom. Okay. So, and then we want to center our knot and tighten everything up nice, so that our knot's in the center. It's not off to one side or anything. Okay, so that we start off properly. Now, if you have 5 or 6 feet of strand hanging, you're going to need to secure it in some way so that so it doesn't get tangled. Now I have, let me get this out of the way since we're done with that, but I have been using these bobbins, and before I was like, I could do it without it, but since I've been using them, I love them, and it does make it a lot easier. But what you do with the bobbin is you find your end, which is a long ways away. You just find your end and you just load your bobbin. You can just put your end in there and kind of secure it with your thumb and wrap it around a couple times, and then you just load your bobbin, load it up. And I have found that the closer you get to your disc with the bobbin, the better it is once you're working it. So, and then you just fold that flap over and it secures it. And then when you need more yarn, when you're getting up real close to the end here, you just kind of pull on it and it releases very nicely. If you start getting too much slack in it and you want it closer, you just roll it back up. And these are nice little things that we have here, and you can buy them from me at www.beadaddictsyarn.com, and we sell them in packs of 8, which is you're going to need at least 8 of them to begin your bag or begin your cord, and a pack of 8 is $4.50. So you can give these a try if you wish. And let's get these all loaded up, and I will be back after I have them all loaded, and we'll be ready to go. Okay, I have my disc all loaded up with my yarn, and I have wound my bobbins. Now, the yarn that I'm using on this is a little bit thicker than the Camilla cotton or the recommended yarn for making the bags. This is a little bit thicker. I'm doing something else, and I just figured I'd use the same yarn that I'm going to be using for my next project. But and as you can see, you are definitely going to want to do something to secure your extra tails of your yarn, whether you use the little embroidery thread bobbins, the little cardboard things. You could do that. You can use them, or some people use clothespins or some kinds of clips, but you're definitely going to want to do something, because you don't want all this length to be pulling through, because it's going to make a big jumbled mess. But I used other methods before and thought they were pretty good, and since I've been using these, and I'm not telling you this just because I sell them, but it's made my life so much simpler. So if you want, you can use these, and it'll be easier, because then you have a little bit something to grab onto, and they're very secure. They may not seem like they are, but once you're working with them, they hold up really nice. So as we see, we have our disc pretty much loaded, the same as our diagram here, or similar to it. Okay, and there are thousands and thousands of different designs you can do, but we're just trying to keep things simple. Now, the basic concept. Now, you can read instructions for, there's many different ways to explain how to do this. One thing you need to remember is you always need to turn your disc in the same direction. So no matter which way you start, just keep on going in that same direction every time you make a move of your thread. You can go right, you can go clockwise or counterclockwise. Okay, I go, let me see. Okay, we're just going to start it and you'll see how I go. All right, we are starting with our top left, top right, and you're going to take that out of that little slot and bring it down to your bottom right. Okay, and you're going to secure that to the right side of your bottom strands. And then you're going to take your bottom left and you're going to pull that out and move that up to your top left. Then you're going to turn, and I turn counterclockwise. And then you're going to take your top right to bottom right and bottom left to top left. Turn. Top right, bottom left to top left. Turn. And you just keep going around like this through the whole thing. Now, of course, you're probably not going to get this all done in one fell swoop. So, what you want to do is, when you need to stop, turn it to your next position. Okay, now one, I don't know if you can, you probably can't see it on camera here, but if you're not sure where your last move was, if for some reason you put it down and you don't remember, you can see your top thread that's going over top of your knotted area. There's one here. This is the top one, but like I said, you probably really can't see it too good on camera. You might be able to see it, but this is your top one on this one. And here's your top one in this direction. And these are all underneath your knotted thread. But that was your last move, okay? So what you want to do, or what I always do, and this is how I teach this. I've taught it to my daughter and my granddaughter and many other people. But before you stop, you're going to actually do your next move. So you're going to take your top left, move it down, or top right, move it down to your bottom right. And then you can put it down. And then you know, when you come and pick it up, no matter what direction it is, you're going to know that this was your bottom. This is where you ended. And then your next move is going to be your bottom left to top left. And then you just continue on. And that's all there is to it. And once you get going with it, you will have, I'm going to stop that there. You will have, it will start to look like this. Now, it may not look exactly like this when you may not see your pattern forming until you give a pull on it. Once you give a pull on it, if you pull on your knot, it stretches things out. It makes it a little bit longer. And you will see your pattern forming then. Okay. And this is just another one that my granddaughter was working on. She wanted to make a bracelet. So, this is how this one's set up, and this is how the pattern's turning out. And so that's it for our Kumihimo lesson for now. And then we'll come back later. This is the beginning part. And I'll come back with another video showing how to tie it off and make your tassels, and, well, tie it off and put it into your bag, because you're going to want to put it on your bag before you do your tassels. Okay, so I'll be back with another video in a bit. Have a good day.